And so please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
Well, like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and.
Oh wow, you really have to come in here?
Like this guy here.
Is this
No,
is this really happening? He met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now that you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
so
fair.
You're more in the category like Luther Arnold. Okay?
My man. Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic.
That's great, partner. You two ever go outplace everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go, we head to Kroger's. And we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. Oh, God. And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes
can
first.
you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
How
I
do you do it?
mean,
Teach
the
me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you gotta get the smile going on some shoes, but
Wait, hold up.
You got.
I gotta
when
try
it's
this
time,
with
when,
you.
it, when it's
Hold
time
on.
to laugh,
I gotta try
you
this
gotta
with
think
you.
of something funny and start laughing.
Do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
This is sexy eyes right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Wish words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yes, it's hump day. Woo! It is hump day. Thank you, baby Jesus. It's hump day. You want to know why? Because we're that much closer. We're that much closer to the weekend. It's been a long week already. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long week already, and it's only Wednesday, y'all. I literally woke up today, and I thought it was Thursday. No lie, I thought it was Thursday, and I was wrong. Today is Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Damn. But it's okay. Another day to kick the world in the butt. You know what I mean? A friend of mine would say, another day to kick the day in the D word, but I can't say that really. You know what I'm saying? Kick the day in the D. You know? Make sure they remember your name. You know what I'm saying? Pascal. That's right. You see what I'm saying? Make sure today remembers your name, okay? Kick some ass today, all right? Kick today in the D word. That should be a t-shirt. Kick the day in the D word. You know what I mean? Verbatim.
That would be a good t-shirt.
Yeah, right? I think I need to make that shirt now. Now I need to make that shirt. You know what I mean? We got shirts, by the way. I don't know if you guys already knew this or anything, but we do have merch. We definitely have merch. I had to say that, shameless plug, but I haven't really been pushing it. I haven't really been telling you guys about the merch, but we got merch. And if you guys don't know that we have merch, we have merch. So you guys should go and check out our merch store at some point, whenever you have time. Please go check it out. We got some new stuff in there. Every other week, I'm trying to put out a new print, a new piece of little drip in there so that you guys can enjoy some dope swag that isn't too nerdy. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, please go get the Pascal Show logo, t-shirt, all that. Please. Support all freaking day long. But if you were like, hey, I still want to support, but I want to look cool. You know, I want to go out on a date, you know, especially with the weather starting to get better. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the weather starting to get better, man, we throw a little cute little jacket on top of that new t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Looking all suave and stuff. Yeah. You know, so then people go, damn, that's a nice shirt. That's cool. Where'd you get it from? Oh, you know, I got my sources. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to tell them everything unless you want to support the show and promote the fact that we got some dope drip. By all means, share, baby, share. But at the same time, if you don't, you know, it's kind of like, hey, one-of-a-kind type of designs that look really, really cool. You know what I'm saying? And Mark, just so you know, Mark Jones, hello, good morning, Mark Jones. I haven't said good morning to everybody yet, but I'll say to you, yes. First off, good morning, but yes, I do have a buy shirt. Yes, I do have a buy shirt or design, so you can get it on masks, mugs, sweatshirts, t-shirts, you name it, everything. So please go and check it out, the merch store, Tanny Vein. It's so weird to say Tanny Vein nowadays. I'm so used to just saying Davy Crockett. He put up the link in the chat, so please go check it out. Go splurge. You know what I mean? Hey, you know what? If you have some time and if you have that extra coinage, you know what I'm saying? If you have a few extra shekels, whatever, in your little satchel, why don't you buy one for your friend? You know what I'm saying? Buy one for your mama. buy one for your girl. She'll appreciate it. She'll be like, the hell is this? It's a t-shirt, baby. You can wear it to bed. You know what I'm saying? That's all. Please, by all means, go share, check it out, and enjoy. Anyway, let's jump into it. We got a lot of things to talk about, but my boy David's in the house. What's going on? What's a guam, bro?
Oh, man, not much, man. It's a pretty good day out here already. Sunny and warm, unlike a lot of the country right now. So I'm enjoying that.
Yeah, it's warm as hell over here too. And there is I am not complaining about it at all. It is hoodie weather, and I love it. I don't have to wear a jacket on top of nothing. I could just be myself. And you know I love me some hoodies. It's like Christmas every day in these hoodies. And I feel like right now, more than ever since we've been locked up, I've been wearing hoodies like a mother lover. Why? Because I have no place to go. I'm stuck in my crib for the most part. You know what I'm saying? I'm not hosting any crazy events. I'm not emceeing fundraisers or anything of that sort, which is what I used to do before we got locked up. So I've been wearing hoodies like a mug, and I mean, I'm not complaining. Like I said, I love me some hoodies, but it's just been a new look, I guess. I'm used to wearing a tie. You know what I'm saying? I used to wear ties and suits a lot, and I don't have to do any of that now, and it's weird. I mean, I've become accustomed to it now, but at the same time, it's just something to get used to still. You know, looking back at old footage and going, wow, I used to wear a suit and tie. Damn, I look good in a suit and tie. When am I ever going to wear a suit and tie ever again? Damn.
It's good for, hoodies are good for call-ins, so you can have conversations with normal people.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyway, it'll be interesting, but I'm glad that it's nice and warm over there and it's not like all wintry and snowy over there. I think we could take a break off the snow now. I think we're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Like pineapples, safety word, pineapples. We good. We good.
I do live in a desert, so the weather is like extreme all the time. So at night it's still like 15, but it gets to 70s during the day now.
Right. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were like, in mountainous areas where it's like snowy all the time. You know what I'm saying?
That's how I always valley, which is a desert.
Interesting. See, I've always pictured you like out in the wilderness. You know what I'm saying? Like out in the woods, tall trees. You could see like Denver, like from afar, but it's there. It's a nice little backdrop to your home. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it just looks like, you're out hunting for squirrel. Not really squirrel, but you know what I'm saying. You're just, living off the fat of the land. That's kind of how I thought of like what your world is like over there. You know what I'm saying?
I do live in the mountains. It's just like between two of them, basically. I live between, Garfield and, I forgot the name of the other mountain. But there's another big one that's nearby. And it's just a small desert for about 10 miles, and then it goes away. That's why it's pretty small here. There's not much land or anything. It's just a tiny valley. Like, because if you go up, it is colder up there. Like, if you go up to the mesa, which is, it's literally like a mile to the right, but it takes about 12 miles to get there because you have to drive all the way up. They still got snow up there, and it's in like the 20s and 30s all day.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Garfield and Otis?
Maybe.
I mean, that's what I would think if it's Garfield.
Yeah.
Otis? Anybody remember?
I remember. Yeah,
that's
I remember
the dog's name. Garfield's nemesis.
Oh, yeah.
The dumbass dog. It was Otis.
Okay, I'm between Garfield and the Grand Mesa. Those are the mountains.
Oh, and the Grand Mesa?
Yeah. No dog, unfortunately.
Damn. Shoot, that's funny because I was thinking that's kind of crappy though. You got the Grand Mesa and then Garfield. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Garfield's the scary one because I've hiked it a few times, but there's like a small narrow area that's only about a foot wide while you're walking along the cliff face for about a mile. It's the more intimidating of the two.
Woo, that would not happen.
Yeah.
No, I'm good on it. That would not. That nope. No. You'd be like, yo, we got to go this way. I'd be like, no, we are not. We are finding another alternative. Hail to the no. We ain't going this way. I'm sorry. I'm not a huge fan of heights.
Threatening. I feel you.
I am not a huge fan of
it, and they panicked.
Shoot, I'd be like, no, man, you crazy. I'm sorry. I don't care how many times you've done this I've done this a million times. This will be the one time you fall. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not good on that. But that's all good. That is all good. That is all good. See, some people can do that kind of stuff. Me, nah. I couldn't. I'm a big guy. Like, and you having to walk in this very narrow area where there's just nothing except a rock wall on one side and death on the other side. I'm not good. I'm not good with that.
Yeah,
I'm not good
just
with that.
Just gotta stare ahead and pretend it's not there.
Yeah. Just pretend. Right. Yeah. Sure. You would have to pay me $1 million to skydive, for example.
Yeah.
Actually, let me get to 100,000 subscribers, right? And I will skydive. A tandem skydive. I'm not doing Are you crazy? I will do it. I will have a literal heart attack just for the fact that Actually, I should be smarter than that. Maybe 1 million subscribers. Let's just say that. Let me get to 1 million subscribers, and then I will jump out of a plane. I will have a heart attack jumping out of that plane. I'm just letting you know. I will pee my pants. I will jump out of the plane, probably die midst fall. I'm just being real. It's just not. That is not my. It is not my blue heaven. Heights and flying is something that I'm terrified of too. So, everyone, get me to 1 million subscribers. I dare you. Get me to 1 million. And I will jump out a damn plane. A tandem skydiving event, I will do it. And I will die. So it'd be like, and so I would make headlines of, a YouTuber just died because his millions of followers made him jump out of a plane.
Nah, man, they're just gonna show the dude that you're jumping with straddling you and giving you CPR as he falls to the ground.
We need the ground. I can't put any pressure on his chest. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, just dead. Snot, saliva flying everywhere. Woo! Yeah, pee, poop, just flapping in the wind. Oh, nasty. Nah, that's nah. I'm good on that. Oh, not good on that. Anyway, we definitely got to jump into some stories here, guys, because, we could sit here and talk about skydiving and how much I hate it all day long, but we got to keep it real. We got to jump into the stories and everything. And there's a lot of things to talk about today. There's a few things I didn't get a chance to talk about yesterday that are that we need to talk about today. There's a lot of different things in regards to, obviously, the Capitol officer that spoke out just recently, Harry Dunn. We have we got to talk about this fake snow conspiracy theory that's going around Texas with the saying that it's the snow that happened in Texas is fake. We got to check that out because I just can't take it no more. I just can't wait. I can't take the BS no more. Okay, so we got to do that. And then, of course, there's this new footage circulating that has just been leaked by the Sheriff's Department showing the events before Kurt Reinhold's death, before he got shot. And we are going to do a quick background story about him and a quick warm-up so that you guys remember who he is and all that, because I did talk about him a few months back when the incident had happened. So we will be talking about that for sure. But we definitely have got to jump into this particular story about Harry Dunn. Harry Dunn was one of the Capitol police officers that was involved in the whole thing that happened on January 6th. Of course, all of America, all of America was at that time was in upheaval. everybody was looking at and was glued to their TVs, checking out what was going on. So Officer Dunn had an exclusive interview with ABC News, and he tells them it was like facing what it was like facing the angry mob at the Capitol. In the interview, he recounts being called the N-word and seeing a group carrying an ironic Blue Lives Matter flag. Of course, we already know this story. We've seen footage of this, but this flag was being seen as they overwhelmed officers in the Capitol building. And so we definitely got to take a look at this particular video because it's frustrating to think that this was going on, and then of course when you hear his account, I can't really say much. I'm not going to say much. I think I'm just going to let the video speak for itself. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah.
Officer Harry Dunn. He was one of the Capitol Hill police officers who fought off the mob on January 6th. His story was front and center at the impeachment trial. We heard how he was called the N-word more than a dozen times, and he told his story for the first time publicly to our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas. Good morning, Pierre.
George, good morning. Today, for the first time, we see and hear from a Capitol police officer who was a witness to that day of infamy. He's speaking only for himself and not for his department, but he has quite a story to tell. He was tested physically and emotionally as he battled that mob in a fight for democracy where racism reared its ugly head.
There were so many calls on the radio. Priority, help, help. Somebody's trapped. We need help. Shots fired.
When Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn went to work on the morning of January 6th, it felt like a normal day. What's the first moment that you began to get a sense that something is off kilter here?
We were told to get helmets, riot helmets. That was new.
But no sense that all hell could break loose.
Correct.
Then the 13-year veteran seen here watched as the crowd of thousands closed in on the east side of the Capitol.
You just see a sea of people, Trump flags, Confederate flags.
Now, real quick, I know we're only like a minute and a half in, but imagine seeing this. And I know I've said this a million times, but I mean, think about just being one individual, one person. Like we were watching the hearings yesterday and getting personal accounts of some of these officers that were there. Like the officer, the woman that spoke in the very beginning of me going live yesterday. And she was talking about how she had a Fitbit on and how she was active. It showed that she was active for 4 hours straight because of the amount of stress and the amount of violence and chaos that was happening inside and outside the Capitol. Imagine being that one person, just one, just like Harry Dunn, Officer Harry Dunn right now, who's giving his account, sitting there and looking at this, seeing a sea of people coming at you, and most of the time, you're the only one. You're absolutely alone. Other officers are either off trying to do the same thing, or they're joining in with these guys.
Then blue line flags, don't tread on me flags. And then you look down and you see officers fighting with these people, pepper spray, smoke grenades, gas grenades, pepper balls being thrown by everybody, flashbangs. We fought with these people who were prepared for a fight. They had on gas masks, they had on body armor, they had on two-way radios, they had on tactical gear, bulletproof vests. They were ready to go.
When you see that level of preparedness, did that surprise you? Did it scare you?
I was scared. I was absolutely scared. I'm on this platform. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'7". I'm this giant person. And we had our guns out, and I'm thinking, all these people out there, they're armed too. And I'm like, I'm gonna get shot. They're gonna take me out. I remember at one point I said, how is this gonna end?
Eventually, the mob forced its way inside the Capitol building. Officer Dunn confronting a group carrying a Blue Lives Matter flag.
I said, we got dozens of officers down.
Oh, this part.
We got dozens of officers down. And you got the nerve to be holding a Blue Lives Matter flag. I thought they were going to have a moment where they came to and they realized, like, yo, what are we doing? But like they instantly snapped out of it and they said, nah, we're doing this for you. We're doing this for you. And as one of the guys kept walking by, the other one pulled out his badge and said, trust me, I understand. We're doing this for you, buddy.
Pulled out his badge. Pulled out a badge, y'all. Some of these guys were law enforcement. I mean, from other states. But some of these guys were law enforcement and knew exactly what they were doing was illegal and wrong. And they still felt empowered. They still felt emboldened. They still felt like they had the right to do such thing as this. It's insane.
And he's got a badge. He shows me his badge.
What did you think? Fellow officers in the building?
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
Exhausted, Officer Dunn tried reasoning with a large group of protesters approaching a hallway he was guarding.
I literally told them, if they want to get through here, you got to go through me. And they didn't. They just started talking to me. They were saying how Joe Biden did not win the election. And
I don't know if I can even play that because I might get flagged, but okay.
Nobody voted for him. So I took the bait and okay, what about me? I voted for Joe Biden. Does my vote not count?
This is when Officer Dunn encountered a couple in the crowd who began hurling the most vile of racial slurs at him, a black officer.
And his girlfriend, she had on a pink MAGA shirt. He said, hey, this voted for Joe Biden, guys. Hey, everybody, this voted for Joe Biden. They said, you.
So the crowd joined in.
Everybody joined in with him.
Yep.
You're in the Capitol, defending the Capitol.
Welcome
and
to
somehow
our
race
world.
seeped into that too.
Everybody wants to say that it was about politics and everything, but it was a large number of people in that crowd that were racist.
Did the people who were there tell you why they were there?
We're stopping the steal. According to them, they were doing it for us. They were doing us a favor. According to those terrorists.
You're very precise. You use the word terrorist.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It wasn't just a mob or a bunch of thugs, you know. They were terrorists. They tried to disrupt this country's democracy. That was their goal. And you know what? Y'all failed.
But 5 people.
You see what he did? He looked straight in the camera and said, you know what, y'all failed. Try it again. You won't win.
People lost their lives that day, including Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick. After the Capitol had been cleared, Officer Dunn had his first chance to reflect on what he had witnessed.
It's just a cloud of smoke, water bottles, broken flag poles, everything in the rotunda just laying there on the floor.
The rotunda.
The rotunda.
The pinnacle
of the American democracy. And all this stuff is there. And I sat down with a good friend of mine. So I said, is this America? What the hell just happened? And I told him, I got called a couple dozen times today, protecting this building. Is this America? They beat police officers with Blue Lives Matter flags. They fought us.
Yeah.
They had Confederate flags in the U.S. Capitol. They stormed the Speaker's office. They went through their sensitive documents. They were trying to assassinate the Vice President in the Capitol.
What's the gamut of emotions?
I've got angry. I got sad. I got hurt. Even just during this interview, I'm getting angry now, but I don't mind talking about it, and that's how I get through it.
Dunn has nothing but praise for his fellow officers, including Eugene Goodman, who was seen on camera shielding the unguarded Senate floor and directing Senator Mitt Romney away from that mob of protesters.
There were dozens of Eugene Goodmans that day, dozens. Eugene got caught on camera, and I'm not surprised that he did the right thing, the brave thing, the heroic thing. He deserves everything that he's getting. But there were so many Eugene Goodmans that weren't caught on camera that day. And I'm proud to work with them.
You know,
But Pierre, that is so powerful. The Officer Dunn reminds us just how horrifying that day was. How's he doing now?
Well, Officer Dunn and his fellow brothers and sisters at the Capitol Police are still healing on so many levels, trying to overcome a day seared in their memories, George. As you can see from the interview, it's going to take some time.
You know, it's welcome to our world, y'all, where we have, like, this actually happened. That event actually happened. It's mind-blowing to think that, by the way, what I'm trying to say is what's mind-blowing is to think that we've only had, so far, a couple accounts of what happened from the officer's side. He's one of the first Capitol Police officers to come out and speak about this situation and speak about his own personal account of what went down. This is the first time. We only have the other ones that were court ordered. We're hearing these. We're hearing at the Senate hearings about other accounts, like you have Sund, Chief Sund. You have the black officer, the black female officer. I forgot her name. I feel like a jerk. Maybe David could pull that up for me. If you don't mind, that was just a big throw at you, like pull it up for me. Without actually, you know what I'm saying. But it's mind blowing to think that we've only had a few accounts, very few, except like the guy who got crushed by the mob, right? He was crushed in the window. You saw him in the video where he's screaming, screaming bloody murder while insurrectionists are beating his face and ripping his mask off and ripping his headgear off and everything, trying to beat him and all that. I mean, these are real things. You have a very, very few finite pieces of stories, and that's it. So it's interesting when you have somebody who is actually finally coming out. One of the officers is finally coming out and speaking about this experience and how horrific it was and how crazy people really were, feeling that they had every right to do what they were doing. Other officers, other men and women that wear the shield, other men and women of the shield were also there, showing off their badge, going, "We're here with you, brother. We're doing this for you, brother." And as soon as he says, "Hey, guys, calm down. Hey, guys, I voted for Joe Biden," whatever he said, however that result came out, he's getting called the N-word. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Now, what was the officer's name, the female officer's name again?
I think you're talking about Ashanti Smith.
No.
Is that the right one?
No,
Okay.
no. Let's see. No, I'm trying to pull up her. Here, hold on one second, guys. I know this is a little impromptu, but it's funny. I type in Senate hearing black female officer, and I get Candace Owens. What? What?
Yeah, I wasn't getting any good hits either. I mean,
Burns.
I mean, combined with this, it does make sense, like why the cops that were involved in the Capitol riot have been so depressed. I mean, a few of them killed themselves too, I believe,
That
so
is
far.
true.
And a lot of them, a lot of the other ones, the survivors, are still probably dealing with similar emotions and things. And I mean, I get the sense that they felt betrayed at the Capitol because these were people saying, like Blue Lives Matter, and they're actually beating them with Blue Lives Matter flags.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since, like, I think until this point, a lot of officers were like, we've seen it in the way they treated the more right-oriented protesters. They thought like they were safe and protected, at least with one group, and it turns out that even that group doesn't want to really help them. So, they've gone through these assassinations and ambushes this year. There's been a lot of police patrols that were just completely wiped out, or I guess last year now, sorry. A lot of patrols were just completely wiped out. And, they had this idea that those people supporting Trump might be supporting them too, and then they end up getting attacked by those people, and it makes them feel like they don't have anyone on their side anymore because, they're getting called traitors or whatever by the people that were involved in it, and they're getting blamed from a lot of more Democrat news reporters for not doing their job well enough, even though there's only a few risking their lives to try and keep people from moving through. It's not their fault. It's the people that were in charge. It's the Pentagon and Pelosi and all the people that were in charge of the deployments that ultimately let this go through.
Yeah.
And the police were abandoned by them. I mean, the Pentagon's job, one of the jobs is to control the D.C. National Guard to help these officers out, and they did not do that.
No, they did not. And it's funny because we did a whole deep dive into, or actually not a deep dive. We did a watch party on the Senate hearing yesterday, and shout out to everybody who tuned in to check out that conversation and everything. So I appreciate you guys watching that hearing with me. Because it was very impromptu. I didn't even know that they were doing hearings, and all of a sudden I look up and there's the hearings going on. So I jumped on this with the quickness. But Carnisha Mendoza, thank you, Jennifer McGuire on Facebook. Thank you to Brandy on YouTube, and of course, thank you to Siri all the way in Germany with the information as well. I have the clip right here because I want us to check out her account as well one more time because this is real. This is a real account. Hold on real quick. This is a real account of what really went down. And this is only one person. But what were you going to say real quick, David?
I just wanted to say thanks to Solo Road for his super chat.
Thank you for the super chat. I didn't even see it. Thank you so much, Solo Road, for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Thank you. But, so, Carnisha Mendoza, Captain Carnisha Mendoza is here talking about her accounts or her first person experience with the insurrectionists, with the craziness that happened on the 6th. And I want us to hear it one more time because it's terrible. Let's take a listen.
Pentagon attack on 9/11. Born and raised in Missouri.
Oh, of course.
File with the help
Gotta
of
love
an
the
expert,
commercials.
or let an expert file for you. Intuit TurboTax.
Hold on, guys. Of course they do. Of course.
This is the checkers game where
Another
grandson and granddad will bond.
Yes, this is where they will bond. Okay,
Missouri,
continue.
Senator Blunt. Captain Mendoza graduated from Park University with a Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice Administration. She has 2 children. On January 6, she rushed to the Capitol when she heard that her fellow officers needed immediate help and assumed command in the rotunda as she and her colleagues fought to push back the rioters and ultimately drive them out of the building. Captain, thank you for sharing your story today.
Here we go.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak before the committee today, and thank you all for your service to our country. My name is Captain Carnisha Mendoza, and I've served with the United States Capitol Police for 19 years. I take a lot of pride in my job. Prior to serving with the Capitol Police, I served as an active duty soldier with the United States Army. My last duty station was split between the Pentagon and the Washington Area Criminal Investigations Division. I've received various awards from the Army and the Capitol Police, to include an award for recovery efforts during the Pentagon attack. Unfortunately, I didn't save any lives, but there are certain lessons that always stuck with me after 9/11. One of those lessons is knowing the unthinkable is always possible, so be ready. So I always take my job very seriously, as 9/11 is always in the back of my mind. With the Capitol Police, I have served in various operational, administrative, and collateral assignments. I'm currently serving as a captain in the Special Operations Division, where I have various responsibilities to include serving as a field commander and a field force commander for the Civil Disturbance Unit. Throughout my career, I have responded to and managed various critical incidents and events, from congressional and member security-related issues to shootings and armed carjackings. I have served as a CDU field force commander for multiple events, including the November 14th Million MAGA March. In my career, I've been activated to work demonstrations with various controversial groups, and I've been called some of the worst names so many times that I'm pretty numb to it now. As an agency, we have trained for and handled numerous demonstrations. It's something we do on a regular basis, and it's something I've always felt we've excelled at. During the Million MAGA March, multiple white supremacist groups, to include the Proud Boys and others, converged on the Supreme Court along with countergroups. The Civil Disturbance Unit fought hard that day, physically breaking up fights and separating various groups. I literally woke up the next day unable to move due to the pain. On January 6th, we anticipated an event similar to the Million MAGA March that took place on November 14th, where we would likely face groups fighting among one another. Additional civil disturbance units were activated that day. I was working the evening shift and had planned to report in at 3 p.m. I was prepared to work a 16-hour shift and assume field force commanders should the event continue into the evening and overnight shifts. It was approximately 1:30 in the afternoon. I was home eating with my 10-year-old, spending time with him before what I knew would be a long day, when a fellow captain contacted me and told me things were bad and that I needed to respond in. I literally dropped everything to respond to work that day early. I arrived within 15 minutes and I contacted dispatch to ask her what active scenes we had. I was advised things were pretty bad. I asked where assistance was needed and was advised of 6 active scenes. There was an explosive device at the Democratic National Committee building, a second explosive device at the Republican National Committee building, and large hostile groups at different locations outside the Capitol building. I advised the dispatcher I would respond to the DNC since that building was closest to where I was at the time. En route, I heard officers at the Capitol building calling for immediate assistance, so I proceeded past the DNC to the Capitol. As I arrived to the East Front Plaza of the Capitol, I heard an officer yell there was a breach at the rotunda door, and I heard various officers calling for assistance at multiple locations throughout the building. Many of the doors to the building were not accessible due to the size of the crowd. I was able to enter a lower level door with the assistance of a Capitol Division officer. Once inside the memorial door, I immediately noticed a large crowd of possibly 200 rioters yelling in front of me. Since I was alone, I turned to go back so I could enter another door, but within the few seconds it took me to walk back to the door I entered, there were already countless rioters outside the building banging on the door. I had no choice but to proceed through the violent crowd in the building.
Oh, of course. Of course. You gotta love that crap.
In some places,
that is stupid.
I made my way through the crowd by yelling and pushing people out of my way until I saw Capitol Police civil disturbance units in riot gear in the hallway. They were holding the hallway to keep rioters from penetrating deeper into the building. I immediately jumped in line with them to assist with holding the crowd of rioters. At some point, my right arm got wedged between rioters and the railing along the wall. A CDU sergeant pulled my right arm free, and had he not, I'm certain it would have been broken. Shortly after that, an officer was pushed and fell to the floor. I assisted the officer to a safer location and got back in line. At some point, the crowd breached the line officers worked so hard to maintain. Civil disturbance units began to redeploy to keep rioters from accessing other areas of the building. I proceeded to the rotunda where I noticed a heavy smoke-like residue and smelled what I believed to be military-grade CS gas, a familiar smell. It was mixed with fire extinguisher spray deployed by rioters. The rioters continued to deploy CS into the rotunda.
So, real quick, military grade, that the rioters were deploying. Wasn't the other way around. It was the rioters that were deploying that material, right? That weaponized gas.
Officers received a lot of gas exposure, which is worse inside the building than outside because there's nowhere for it to go. I received chemical burns to my face that still have not healed to this day. I witnessed officers being knocked to the ground and hit with various objects that were thrown by rioters. I was unable to determine exactly what those objects were. I immediately assumed command in the rotunda and called for additional assets. Officers began to push the crowd out the door. After a couple hours, officers cleared the rotunda, but had to physically hold the door closed because it had been broken by the rioters. Officers begged me for relief as they were unsure how long they could physically hold the door closed, with the crowd continually banging on the outside of the door, attempting to gain reentry. Eventually, officers were able to secure the door with furniture and other objects. I'm proud of the officers I worked with on January 6th. They fought extremely hard. I know some said the battle lasted 3 hours, but according to my Fitbit, I was in the exercise zone for 4 hours and 9 minutes.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to chuckle at that, but the fact that she's saying she had a Fitbit and her Fitbit was saying you have been in your exercise zone for 4 hours straight, that's insane. Imagine how much physical exertion you are dealing with, what you're doing just to fend off or fight off all these people that are trying to get into the Capitol.
And many officers were in the fight even before I arrived. I'm extremely proud of the United States Capitol Police. I'm especially proud of the officers who are the backbone of this agency and carry out day-to-day operations. I know with teamwork we can move forward. The night of January 7th into the very early morning hours of my birthday, January 8th, I spent at the hospital comforting the family of our fallen officer and met with the medical examiner's office prior to working with fellow officers to facilitate a motorcade to transport Officer Sicknick from the hospital. Of the multitude of events I've worked in my nearly 19-year career in the department, this was by far the worst of the worst. We could have had 10 times the amount of people working with us, and I still believe the battle would have been just as devastating.
That's true, too.
As an American and as an Army veteran, it's sad to see us attacked by our fellow citizens. I'm sad to see the unnecessary loss of life. I'm sad to see the impact this has had on Capitol Police officers. And I'm sad to see the impact this has had on our agency and on our country.
Man, I am so tired of these commercials. Look, they are really trying to make some money off of this ish, man. Hold on.
Although things are still raw and moving forward will be a difficult process, I look forward to moving forward together as an agency and as a country. In closing, I want to honor Chief Sun's leadership. I served under his command as a watch commander for 3 years and was able to personally see his hard work and dedication.
Hard work and dedication during the time of what was going on. But as we saw in the hearing yesterday, they had plenty of opportunities to be prepared, to be overly prepared, and they decided not to. And that was under Chief Sun's leadership as well.
He was fully dedicated to the United States Capitol Police, and he cared about every employee on the department. I often hear employees on the department praise his leadership and his ability to inspire others. He's made a significant impact on our agency. Thank you, Chief. Thank you.
So, the fact that she is, what she says here
Thank you.
is, I mean, one of her own accounts on what happened during the Capitol riots and everything. And, you know, obviously this is going to be something that we're going to be talking about and covering, you know, the news, mainstream media, etc. We're all going to be talking about this for a long time. You know, we'll be talking about this for a while until we get down to the bottom of it, until we find the actual truth of what really went down. And that's the ongoing question. What really went down? You know, what are they covering? What is the truth? What isn't the truth? What are they? What information and pieces of facts are they sweeping under the rug to make the Capitol look good, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? You know, the speech. I see Brock Brennan on YouTube said this is a speech for support. I mean, yeah, she basically saying, hey, we were ransacked. Doesn't matter how many people were there. We would have been ran through. Doesn't matter. We would have had just as bad of a situation if we had 100,000 men out there or no. And I do agree with that. I think that no matter what, there still would have been chaos. But there's certain things that they could have prevented beforehand. The eve of the 6th, January 5th, they had information that they received, they gave them proof positive that Ish was about to hit the fan on the next day. They did not act on that. They sat back on it. And of course, we watched it. You watched it with me. The other men and women that were involved, some of the other people that were leaders and chiefs of everything, were backtracking. A lot of them were backtracking on what they were saying. A lot of them were saying, "Hey, what they'll say they were sitting there saying one thing, and then next thing you know, they turn around and they say something completely different after they get interrogated by somebody else. They just keep backtracking and flip-flopping their stories. And yes, I see, Mendoza saying something to say, hey, on behalf of, in defense of Sund, but at the same time, there's certain things that Sund could have known beforehand that he could have done to prevent or to help prevent this thing go south like it did. It went south fast. It went south very fast. David.
Yeah, I agree with her mostly, but I disagree that if people in charge decided to act appropriately, that the building would have been safe. I mean, maybe not with what she had available, but it's more the leadership's problem. They could have, they made some key mistakes that you should not make. They expanded their perimeter without expanding the amount of people they had to guard it, which just weakened their forces. They were trying to guard territory that was just empty areas. They didn't set up anything hard, like vehicles to break up, like lines of vehicles to break up the people coming in.
Right.
There's a lot of things they could have done to keep that crowd basically trickling in and pushed away. I mean, it's not her fault, obviously. It's the people that were in charge.
No.
Because they had warning ahead of time, and the National Guard definitely has all of the material they need to have defended the White House or Capitol building appropriately. It's just that the people in charge did not enact anything that would have made the officers able to defend the building. What they needed to do was block off the streets, like with tank traps or actual vehicles, things like that people can't move. That weigh like hundreds of thousands of pounds, something like that. And all they had was these fences that one person could easily pick up and push away, like we saw the officers do that let people come right on in.
They're little freaking aluminum things that you use when you're going to a Guns N' Roses concert. You know what I'm saying? To keep people in line. That's it. When you're going to Lollapalooza, you know what I'm saying? This is what you use to go through to keep people in line so that they can go into a concert. Not to stop an angry mob of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. That's not enough. That'll never be enough. That'll never be enough. Even so, even during the inauguration when they said, we've erected 7-foot tall wire fences, still, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. People can still go through that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't even matter if they have a couple guys with a couple guns and all that stuff. Doesn't matter. People are still going to be able to get over. Maybe one guy might get shot, but then there's going to be 5 other dudes that are going to get over that fence. It doesn't freaking matter. Those things get blown away with a heavy gust of wind. There's got to be something more than this. But like I said before, sorry, real quick, and I just want to point this out. If this was a different party, or if this was not a different party, if this was a different group of people, they would have been suited and booted, head to toe. National Guard would have already been there. Would have already been there. Oh, yeah. Not probably. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Last time BLM, Antifa were out there protesting in the Capitol, they were suited and booted. Those dudes were all just towed up, ready. You know what I mean? Cocked, locked, and ready to rock. Now this is a situation where this is oh, yeah, we could have brought more people, but we didn't do anything. We didn't do any of that. Oh, well, I didn't get that memo. I didn't get that letter. I don't recall getting that phone call at 1:09. I just remember getting having to make a decision at 2 when Ish was hitting the fan. So on and so on and so on and so on. So it's just kind of all right. Eventually, we all got to figure out. We all got to figure out what is the right way of doing things and stick with that for both sides. Doesn't matter who they are. You do the same procedure for everybody. Doesn't matter if I'm doing it for you, brother. I'm doing it for you. Like, it doesn't even matter. I don't give a damn if this guy is a Blue Lives Matter supporter or if he's Antifa. I don't give two damns. This is something that needs to be done. Period. You know what I'm saying? That's the other thing. Sarah, thank you so much. But the optics of it all, the optics, it's a kerfuffle. Real talk. They were worried about the optics. They said this, bruh. Now I want to dive in and find that part where the guy was sitting there saying we were worried. They were not we. They, when he was calling in, I think it was the chief of police of the Metropolitan Police of that area was saying I was on the phone with Sund and everybody else being like, yo, we need to be employing or deploying the National Guard ASAP Rocky, right? And what happened is they sat there and said, well, we're worried about the optics of it all. We're worried about what it will look like for the general public if they see the National Guard being deployed upon these supporters. They were worried about the optics. The optics. They were worried about that. They were more worried about that than actually protecting the Capitol. That doesn't make any sense. That's what they're talking about. They were having that conversation, yo. They were trying to figure that out. Whilst men and women behind the shield, men and women just trying to survive. Elected officials are huddling under desks and trying to hide. Mike Pence is being escorted out, swiftly escorted out. Men and women are outside saying and screaming, "Hang Mike Pence!" Gallows are being erected out in the front of the Capitol building, of one of the Capitol buildings. And they're on the phone trying to figure, well, we're worried about the optics. We're just so concerned. You know, the mainstream media is going to take this and chop it up and screw it and make us look really, really bad. We imagine National Guards, these soldiers going after MAGA people. This is such a bad thing. No, we can't do this. They would be flabbergasted.
I mean, if you even compare it to in America, there was a terrorist threat to attacking a military base, and it wasn't even like considered a red alert type threat, and they still like blocked off every entrance with vehicles and just like heavy pieces of steel or something like that. And that was just for a possible threat of a terrorist attack on a base full of armed security guards, like with rifles and everything. And compared to what these people had to defend the Capitol, they didn't have nearly anything like that. And they did what they could. But even if a threat at another place necessitates all these defenses that would actually protect people from driving through the base, they can do the same thing with Capitol building. Sure, it's not as it doesn't already have the perimeter built, but they could have built a strong perimeter instead of putting up a chain link fence. I mean, chain link fences are almost always aluminum. Your body weight will break it. Your body weight will snap the links. Your body weight will bend the bars down. Well, at least for my body weight, most men anyway. Maybe not if you're lighter, I guess. Yeah. But it's not strong. You know, a couple people pushing against it are going to bend it, no matter how light they are. So like that's not a real defense. That's just traffic management during normal times. That's not managing a riot or an attack. And they had an alert of this, right? See, Nancy was warned. They had the police chief was warned. The Pentagon was warned. Like everyone in charge was warned, and no one did anything. So a lot of this, to me, I mean, obviously they didn't instigate the attack, but the problems with the officers being vulnerable and suffering from this in the aftermath largely comes from their higher-ups not giving them the support they needed. They were abandoned by the people who were supposed to help them, which unfortunately isn't unusual. A lot of times officers in the police forces and things like that come from more of a political background than an actual service background, and I think that has an effect on it. But,
yeah,
I mean, they just could have done so much better. They do much better under other circumstances.
Exactly.
Yet, in this case, they chose not to. It's very, like, it's important to remember that everyone on top, both parties, chose not to enact the powers they had to make this more of a defendable position. They
Yeah.
just let this go down completely. Both sides allowed this to go down. They were alerted, and they did nothing to stop it. They both pretty much immediately used it for political points. So, I doubt, AOC probably didn't have anything to do with it. She's scared in her building.
Yeah.
But, people higher in charge that, no one knows where Nancy Pelosi was. Supposedly she was on the floor, but no one saw pictures of this. And it's the same with a lot of, Mitch and others. I just don't remember all the names right now. It's not just Democrats. It is Republicans. But my point is that it was happening on both sides where no one was trying to get the National Guard from the Pentagon. No one was trying to organize the police ahead of time. I mean, we've seen that politicians are very comfortable going outside of their jurisdiction to help people these days, like generate donations or hand out goods. So why didn't anyone in charge of defense come into this? Now, freshmen, Congress people don't have charge over this. Mostly these are done through committees of experienced people, either appointed by the head of the RNC or the head of the DNC. And no one is doing anything. I mean, they both have their own defensive forces that weren't deployed. They have their own, I forget their name, but basically position to connect the politicians with the military, the RNC, with the National Guard and everything. They're there as well. No one did anything. Even Pence, he's another good example. He knew more or less what was coming. He was even a target. He didn't do anything. So why did everyone want this attack to go through? Because that's what it seems like, is that people wanted this to happen so that they could react afterward. On both sides, I mean. And, I still feel like a bunch of people were trying to play a political game out of this instead of trying to resolve the fact that the Capitol was attacked, figuring out who did it, figuring out why, and trying to fix it. They're trying to use it for political points right now, which is just going to make it worse, because when you're talking about a tender subject like this, cases of violence, and they're trying to focus on politics, the violence gets worse because the people that were inflicted against or the people that attacked feel like they're still not being listened to, which, looking at this hearing that we just did, it's pretty clear that they're not being listened to. So,
yeah, and that's what's frustrating, because all of this could have been prevented. All of this could have been more prepared. They could have been in preparation. Yes, what inevitably happened was the inevitable. It was going to happen no matter what. But there could have been other ways, other things that they could have done to be more prepared for it. Bruh, there are moments where they sit there and they go, for right now. Oh my God. By the way, David, very, very smart facts right there with everything that you said. But think about it too. Right now, Minnesota. I'm getting these in our Discord. By the way, join our Discord. Shameless plug. Please join our Discord. Be a part of the conversation over there too. But we have people having conversations like Lady Justice is talking about it, all that. That Minnesota, she said, and I'm loosely quoting her here, but she said, I'm in the Twin Cities and they're getting prepared. They're literally having the National Guard come in, to get ready for whatever's going to happen in regards to the George Floyd case. Either they're getting ready for chaos. Well, they're getting ready for chaos no matter what. But they're getting ready for chaos no matter what. Remember the times whenever there's been a city that's about to sit there and say, drop some knowledge that's going to piss a group of people off? Haven't you noticed where they have the cinder block barricade things put up, or they'll hammer plywood to cover up windows and doors, glass windows and doors and stuff like that. Like they're getting riot-proof ready for any type of riot that's going to go on. Why didn't they do any of that stuff? I'm not sitting there saying that they have to, put wood and block up windows and stuff, but they could have been prepared for things. They have the National Guard and X, Y, and Z ready for anything when it comes to George Floyd case, or the Daniel Prude results, which we will be talking about here in a short while. I mean, there's things where they have more than prepared for those things. But when it comes to, I remember in St. Louis, they were boarding up windows and stuff. That's the word I was trying to find. Boarding windows up and doors, getting ready for chaos. Even when Michael Brown Jr.'s, the whole Michael Brown Jr. Results were coming out. You know what I'm saying? With the verdicts and everything. They were more than prepared. So why weren't they prepared for this? When they said the eve of, at least the eve of, they were getting information saying that it's about to get real, y'all. And what did they do? Not a damn thing. They just sat there. They just sat there. And then now they're going, oh, yeah, you know, I could have done this. That, you know, woulda, coulda, shoulda. That's why I resigned. Then then Chief's son is like, I regret resigning. I shouldn't have resigned. Well, you resigned because you weren't prepared. You should have prepared when you should have prepared. And you didn't. You just let the thing happen. All y'alls. Any person that was a lead, that was running their units or the departments that had responsibility and knew that ish was about to go down should have done whatever they could by any means necessary to prepare and protect the Capitol, but they didn't. They did not. But we got to jump into the next story because we could talk about this till we're blue in the face, of course, and we'll be running in circles. By the way, if you haven't done that yet, hit that like button down below. It would really mean a lot. I'd love to see it get to 100 likes. I see 135 in the building. You know what I'm saying? All y'all are part of the Pascal Show family, so please hit that like button down below. I'd love to see it just get all the way up there, all the way up, all right? And also, if you haven't done it yet, crush that subscribe button. That would really mean a lot. Working my way towards 50,000 subscribers, so please don't be shy. Crush that subscribe button. Hit that like button down below. That would mean a lot. Immortal Badass, thank you so much for the super chat. Pascal, it's additional police, not National Guard. Thank you, Immortal. Thank you. I did not mean National Guard. Thank you for the correction. But you see what I'm saying. You know what I mean? They're getting more than prepared over there. They're bringing in more men and women, more police to come in and be a part of that and get ready for whatever's going to go down in Minnesota. Doesn't make any sense. They're doing that there, but they're not doing that at the Capitol, which I find kind of ridiculous. Don't forget, hit that like button down below. Don't forget to crush that subscribe button. That would mean a lot to me. Anyway, we got to jump into this next thing. I wanted to have I knew this was going to be a little bit of a heated conversation, this conversation about the Capitol Hill. No, thank you so much for the $20 tip. Oh my good Lord, thank you so much for the $20 tip. And then Shay, I want to say a big thank you. You already know what you did. I want to say a big thank you to you as well. I really appreciate it. I didn't have tacos and tequila last night, but it was greatly appreciated. Thank you, Shay. You are my queen. Thank you so much. But we got to jump into this next story. All y'all are my queens. All y'all are my kings. I'm just letting y'all know. All y'all are kings and queens over here. I got so much new swag coming out, new t-shirts and stuff that you guys are just going to love. Just be ready for that. I'm just letting you know, period. Get ready for that. Anyway, sorry for that left turn, but I had to say that really quick. So we got to talk about this fake snow. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. So there's apparently an ongoing conspiracy theory that the snow in Texas is fake. Yeah, about that. We're going to take a look at this one video. Here is one video that is, I think, just really stupid. But here's a video of them showing us that the snow is fake. Here we go.
Thank you, Bill Gates, for trying to fucking trick us that this is real snow. You'll see, it's not melting.
The hell?
And it's going to burn. Snow don't burn. Snow fucking melts. No water, no dripping, no nothing. If I put this shit in the microwave, it's going to start sparking.
Yeah,
because
they said
there's metal mixed in it. So you see that?
No way.
No melting.
It got harder. Try it again.
That's called ice.
I know it's called ice, you dumbass.
What the hell?
Oh, that laugh was everything for me, David. Thank you so much. It's called ice, for crying out loud. That's what happens.
Thank you, Bill Gates.
Do you see what I'm saying? This is the
They're trying to
stupidity that's
fucking
going
trick
around.
us.
This is the stupidity. I'm just going to run the video one more time without the audio because this is idiotic. There have been videos upon videos of people showing, well, you know, I put it in the ice, I put the snow in the microwave and try to melt it, it starts sparking. Well, the funny thing is the guy, there was one other video that I saw, and this guy was putting a metal bowl into a microwave. Why would it be sparking? I'm just wondering. You don't put metal in a microwave, you dumbass. But at the same time, there are people out here that are literally doing this ish, that are sitting here saying that this is fake snow. It's not fake snow. It's called science. It's called science.
It's probably just the butane or smoke from the lighter. If you've never used a lighter before, they do make things black. It's because of the stuff inside of it.
Yes.
Or it burns it, you know, because butane is black, smells like. I think that's one of the things I heard people were saying that smelled like plastic when they started burning it. No, that's your plastic lighter heating up.
Exactly.
They smell like plastic when they're hot.
Exactly. It's funny to me that the people are sitting there going, oh, yeah, you know, this is all fake. This is fake snow. Or they'll sit there and go, see, there's other videos of these guys like putting their hands in the snow and then crunching it and letting it all fall out of their hands. They're like, see, it's not even, my hands aren't even wet. Look, see? But it's like, you didn't even let it sit in your hand long enough. You know? Then there's other people that have been using like hair dryers or hair blow dryers, you know, on the hottest level, showing, oh, it's not melting. Like, yo, like, wait a second. Let it do its thing before you start sitting there going, oh yeah, you know, this is all not real. Like, shut up.
I guess they think it's raining plastic or something, which is not the case. Plastic doesn't dissolve, for one thing. It never dissolves, ever. It doesn't go away. Snow dissolves really quickly. And like,
I got
don't know,
more.
It doesn't make sense. Like, if you look at, there's a snow resort near me. They got 200 inches of snow this year. Last year, they had to make 120 inches of snow. You know, the output of them making snow is just snow, because all you have to do is make little water droplets cold, throw them in the air, and they come back down. You can produce hundreds of feet of real snow. I don't know why anyone would ever make fake snow. It would be very expensive, very hard to disperse throughout the atmosphere, and
well, especially fake,
and it wouldn't go away if it's plastic.
Exactly,
ever.
Especially fake snow. If that is, yeah, like I said, you know, there's plenty of ski resorts. Like there's a ski resort out in my area that is that's open pretty much year round, and they use fake snow, but it's fake. It's like shaved ice, basically. It's not fake plastic snow. You see what I'm saying? It's still water. It still comes from water. It still melts when the sun comes out and everything. When heat is applied to it, it still melts. But let's look at this one.
So just pull the snow from outside. There's an ice cube next to it. See how it's pooling and melting?
Jesus.
Oh, fuck, that stinks so bad. It smells really bad. It's like burning chemical smells. This thing is not helping at all.
Okay, can I say something? Could you be smelling possibly one? Either you're smelling the lighter, you're smelling the gas from your damn lighter. Okay, maybe you've been lighting it a couple times just trying to experiment this before you start rolling this tape, before you start showing everybody, see how the snow is fake. That could be it. The tub of your sink could be filled with gas, with that gaseous fume or that gaseous smell right now. Or you picked up a chunk of snow that a dog pissed in. That's the other one I can think of. Or an animal peed in. Just saying. Yeah. But this is stupid. Hold up. Let's keep rolling.
It's just disappearing. Nothing.
It's called science, you idiot. Oh my God.
Really bad. You can't even
you
let it burn for too long.
It's the butane. She's smelling butane.
That's what I mean, butane. Like this. Oh, there's more. Hold up. There's a bonus. Oh my God.
Bonus
that's just her trying to. I don't know. Oh, I guess that's what she gets. That's what she gets. But These are things that are circulating because there's been many other videos of people just trying to show, oh, look how fake the snow is. Look how fake the snow is. It's like, no, the snow is real. It is snow. Let it go.
I understand not everyone sees snow, but yeah, it's pretty straightforward. All right, I have my lighter here. I don't know if you can actually see it on the camera.
Hold on.
Hold
up. Let me pull you up really quick.
All right.
Come on. Okay. We got
you. You might be able to see it, but every time you light it, black smoke comes out.
Yeah, I see it.
That black smoke will make things black if it gets on there. And
there you go.
So I mean, it's not unusual. What I understand that a lot of people in Texas aren't used to snow, so some of it might be surprising. But snow can be fluffy, and then it gets wet, and it becomes denser. And if you step on it and make it tighter, it will become ice. That's just how it works.
That's just how it's called science.
Right. Like if you pick up a snowball with your bare hand, and squeeze it, you're going to get a rock or like a thing of ice in your hand. That's just how it works. Snow becomes more compact until it's hard, and then it's ice.
Yep.
And ice is always hard, and it's not plastic.
Yep. It's called science. 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 The C is silent, y'all. Science. You idiots. Come on. Just stop. This is when people have nothing better to do. This is when you have too much time on your hands goes wrong. When people sit there and go, oh, it's a thing and no, it's just snow, bruh. It's called global warming. It's called climate change. Oh, apparently you don't think that exists either, but it's real and it just happened to your ass. Okay? It ain't fake snow. Just let it be what it is. You know what I mean? That's all. Princess Rose Doll, thank you so much for the $5 Canadian dollar. She says, Pascal, I'm in Toronto, Canada. I just got some Canadian snow and tried to I guess light it with a match. Jokes. It smells. Jokes. It smelled like matches. See, there you go. There you go. People are idiots. People are idiots. We just need to let it go. Let it go, baby. Let it go. We got to jump into a quick commercial break. Real quick. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Oh no, I don't have it. Okay. We got to go into a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we definitely have to jump into this conversation about the new footage covering Kurt Reinhold's case, the man that was killed jaywalking while black. Real talk. We definitely got to look at this footage. It's mind-blowing, and it'll piss you off. Let's just keep it real. But anyway, don't forget to hit that like button down below. Love to see you get to 100 likes. Please help a brother out. And we will be right back. See you guys in a very quick minute. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Love, peace, and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Big guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have those little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now. Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center,
providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
I'm sorry, I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood, we inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points: animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall. Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and being a part of the conversation today. If this is your first time checking out this show, I do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I do an evening show Tuesdays through Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I will be on tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Be sure to hit that like button down below. Don't forget to crush that subscribe button and jump in on the Pascal Show family chat and enjoy the randomness of the day. But anyway, we got to jump into this next story. This is something that I've talked about a while back, a few months back. There was a black man by the name of Kurt Reinhold that was stopped on the side of the road for walking while black. I mean, it's funny that I keep talking about this. There seems to be this ongoing theme this week about walking while black, right? There were some updates about Elijah McClain. There were some other updates about, or there was another story about another gentleman that was in Plano, 18-year-old kid in Plano, Texas, that was walking in the snow. He just got arrested, detained. Thank God nothing happened to him. He wasn't shot or killed or anything, but given the fact of just being arrested no matter what, he was arrested. Later on, the charges were dropped, but he was just doing something as simple as walking home from work in the snow while black. And now we have another story. This is something that I have talked about a few months back in a pop-up video about this Kurt Reinhold gentleman that was shot during a tussle with two officers. And this was an unarmed black man minding his own business. And allegedly he was jaywalking. This is the reason why he was stopped. I got a little video here to show you guys. So we're going to take a look at this and come up with our own 2 cents about this. Let's check this out.
Minor jaywalking stop turned into this, a warning. The video is disturbing.
Remember this video, guys?
That is the scuffling which proved to be the last moment of Kurt Reinhold's life. The 42-year-old father of 2 was shot to death by police there in broad daylight. He was unarmed. And he was not suspected of any serious felony or misconduct at all. He was stopped for alleged jaywalking, an infraction in California that carries a $250 ticket and is also rarely enforced to begin with. Now, to understand this incident and why so many of these incidents in American policing prove controversial, it also helps to see what led up to that scuffle, which is our special report tonight, building on our coverage of this case. Tonight, we can actually show you more of precisely that lead up because the Orange County Sheriff's Department has just released more video. Only after pressure, we should note, from the public, from recent protests, from press coverage, and a lawsuit. And now this video evidence sheds more light on the officer's mentality going into the stop. We can hear the officers on dash cam video and other video before they even make contact with Reinhold, and they argue over whether to approach him at all. So now on this tape, newly available, I want you to listen as one officer appears to verbally push back against the other, more aggressive officer, saying the situation, before they even made the stop, the situation is, quote, controlled and doesn't merit stopping Reinhold.
Like this is a jaywalk. You need to have a control. There we go. You hit me, dude. It's control, man. I don't know. It is. Look down, you just stop in the middle. Don't make case law, Gabriel. Not case law. We're gonna identify him, though.
Did you hear that? I'm gonna roll that back one more time. That exchange of words. That exchange of words, I think, is very important to hear, because I know that my face is, or my screen is covering the actual words. So I'm going to read the words for you guys real quick, just so you know. He says, watch this. He's going to jaywalk.
This is a jaywalk. You need to have a control.
Something, because it's unintelligible. It's controlled. So basically he's saying, we don't even need to worry about this. We don't even need to worry about this.
There we go.
Here we go. See?
You hit me, dude. Control, man.
Other guy says, it's controlled, man. Like, this doesn't need to happen. We don't need to worry about this. It's a jaywalking. He's jaywalking. He's not breaking. Like, who cares? Who cares? There's bigger fish to fry. He's jaywalking. Who cares?
I don't know. It is.
He says it is. It is controlled.
Yeah, you just stop in the middle.
Okay, some he just stopped in the middle.
Don't make case law.
Don't make case law, Gabriel.
Real, not case law.
It's not case law.
We're gonna identify him, no?
We need to identify him, no?
So before there was any stop, before what we showed you just earlier, before any scuffle, you have one officer already concerned this may not be a worthwhile or valid stop. The officer says, don't make case law, which sounds like referencing what could become a questionable precedent. Don't turn this stop into a case about crossing the line or where the line is. But they went ahead and they did pull up to Reinhold. And before even telling him why they are stopping him or if he's technically under arrest yet, you're going to see they start saying if he does not stop, they will, quote, make him stop. Quite the escalation for this alleged jaywalking.
Yep.
How you doing? How you doing?
He said, "Are you gonna stop or are we gonna have to make you stop? Because I'm telling you to stop." What are you talking about? I'm walking. He says, "Man, I mean, why are you stopping?" So he's asking why are you having me stopped for jaywalking and now for resisting arrest? That's what he just said. When, where, show me where.
You can hear, even with this off-camera partial audio, how quickly this whole thing escalated by the choice of the officers. Already, it doesn't look like a stop that's making the neighborhood much safer. It looks like a stop that's escalating a situation with an unarmed person minding his own business, who then is asking, where did he even jaywalk? And then a concerned witness took cell phone video, which shows more of this from another angle.
Where did I jaywalk? Stop touching! Stop touching! Stop touching! On me! Why are you stopping? Stop touching! Stop touching! Stop touching! What is your problem? Why are you touching me? Why are you touching me? Why are you touching me? For what? Who are you?
As they argue and the video continues, there appears to be an effort by Reinhold to just get away. Then the officers tackle him, which includes the one officer who initially cautioned against the stop, saying things were under control. As it escalates, moments later, an officer says Reinhold has his gun, and they kill him with 2 shots.
2 shots.
I got him.
And it was over just like that. Now we have more information about how it ever got to that point. How an officer twice insisted, remember, this was a controlled situation that didn't merit the police getting involved.
Control. There we go. You didn't need anything. Control, man.
It's controlled, man. And it was until it wasn't. These officers killed Reinhold in September. What's new now is the evidence, the video. As part of our reporting, you should know the police also released this photo, which they argue shows Reinhold trying to get the officer's gun. The longer video presents a lot of evidence that shows the stop was so dubious, though, even one officer was objecting to it before it began. Reinhold's family argues the video also shows the escalation and confrontation was driven by the police. Indeed, under the law, whatever you think of this policing, if a suspect chooses to flee a jaywalking stop, it is illegal for police to use deadly force to stop them from fleeing. They need more of a justification than that. Now, without the video, this might be another story that is a blip in the news of police just saying they had to use force against a dangerous suspect grabbing their gun. With the video, if people take the time to learn about the entire context, it really does look like something else.
Very true. I just want to point something out that I just saw a second ago. We got to look at this really quick. Well, one, I don't know if this is really him reaching for the gun. I think he's just trying to pry the dude off of him. But there's something else I wanted to point out here too. There's something right here. See that right here? Right there? Are those gloves or is that a gun? Sorry, I'm trying to get this so we can see this a little bit better. This cop right here, it almost looks like he's holding a gun. It's gloves, never mind. It looks like it's not gloves. It looks like a gun, the way it's bent. You know what I mean? The way he's holding it and everything. So they're probably gloves. But anyway, there you have it. Isn't it wonderful when you have dash cam footage? Isn't it wonderful when body cam footage does work out in your favor? These two cops, one of them was ready to go. One of them was ready to take this man and just pull him over for no reason. Stop him for no reason. He was only walking across the street. That's all he was doing. Innocently walking across the street. Now it's getting to the point where every black man, black woman, every black person has to think twice before they do something like as simple as jaywalking. You know what I mean? Some people like to cross the road. How many times, if you live in a populated area, how many times have you crossed the street with traffic still, blazing by? You know what I mean? How many times have you cut through traffic as a pedestrian? I don't know how many times I've done it. I've done it multiple times. Okay? Millions of times. But I never would ever thought that this would ever turn into a situation where my life would be put on the line because of walking while black. Jaywalking while black. That's a new thing now, y'all. But the thing is what's very comforting about this is that we do now see evidence of the conversation that they had beforehand and then what led up to the altercation with Kurt Reinhold. And I hope that they're able to use this in court. Hopefully they're able to press charges or use this as viable evidence in court. One of the officers sitting there going, hey, man, there's no case. It's controlled, man. Like, don't worry about it. This is a waste of time. Why do we need to stop just some regular guy walking across the street? Who cares? It was an empty street, by the way. If you notice, when he was walking across the street, it wasn't like there was a whole bunch of people there. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like there was a whole bunch of people there. In the middle of it, hell to the no. There weren't a whole bunch of cars stopping and going, hey, why aren't you able to get into such and such? No. He just was walking across the street. Walking across a street where there were no cars. So he wasn't blocking traffic. He wasn't doing anything crazy like that. And now this man is dead because another cop, his partner said, he's got my gun. But lo and behold, the gun never went out of his holster. The gun never got out of his holster. There's another angle, as you saw in that photo. The gun never came out of the holster. Period. I honestly think the dude was just trying to shove the dude off of him. By any means necessary. Hands were going everywhere. David, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it really does just seem like the first cop, I think they labeled him as number one, the one that wanted to stop the guy. He was clearly just looking for trouble of some sort. Maybe it could have been probably racially motivated because there's no other reason to stop this guy. And the other guy, the other officer acknowledges that he's not really committing the crime of any merit and that they shouldn't even stop him. But not only does the one officer stop him, he physically keeps him from leaving so that he keeps touching him and grabbing him, even though nothing's happened yet. They just walked up on him, and I mean, he was aggressive and instigating from the start. So there's whatever reason he had to go out there, he was clearly intending to either hurt or arrest that guy for basically no reason. And the other one recognized that that's not a crime. I mean, you can give somebody I think it's like $100 fine maybe. I've never heard of anyone getting a fine for jaywalking, but it can happen. And I know I've had friends before. As a Puerto Rican friend got followed just for doing the exact same thing, like 4 blocks, and it's stupid. Like they follow people like that who aren't even committing a crime because they want to. They want them to commit a crime. It's basically what's happening.
Yep.
And they're not patient enough to wait for it, so they're trying to push one on them. Like I don't think, like when he was down, I don't think he was reaching for the gun. It was possible, but I mean, it just looks like he splayed out. He's got the guy's weight on his back. He's trying to. His arms are out. He's not grasping or anything. He's just kind of probably trying to get that weight off of his back, is my guess. Because if you can tell, his body's torqued in a weird way with one under him and the other on top of him. It's kind of like bending his spine, I would think, at least to some degree. So the one cop that acknowledged they shouldn't be messing with him, I mean, he did speak up. He should have definitely been more assertive, but it's at least good that he spoke up because now that's recorded.
Yep.
So no matter what he says, no matter what any other officer says, we now have recording of him being informed at the time that it's not really a problem. They have video to show it's not a problem, and like they pushed the aggression the whole time. Sure, the guy, or I don't know how old he was, could have been, I don't know. I mean, he's being harassed. You know, a lot of times when the cops come to you, they do roll up like they're a gang of their own. They stop you, physically keep you from going anywhere, and they do what they want rather than what they're supposed to do. So, like, I mean, when you're in a situation like that, you don't want them to touch you, and they shouldn't. They're not in the right to do so. But they're going to do it because they don't care. And they can get away with it because that's usually what a monopoly of force means, is that you have control of the interaction entirely. So I would like to. I think it's very likely we'll see at least the one get punished. I'm not too sure like which officer was which once we saw them on the physical screen, because that one guy did tackle him, pretty much elevated it to the point where the guy was fighting for his life at that point. And before he was just trying to get away. And we've discussed this before. You're supposed to let them run. Even if they stole a car, you let them run, because otherwise you're putting yourself in danger and you might end up causing a firefight that is unnecessary. And the problem with a firefight in the city is that you're almost guaranteed to hit bystanders. So there's really, like I said, there's the cop specifically instigated this. And we saw just recently with the investigation from the Aurora police just yesterday that they decided their officers had no reason to stop the guy. And this is a very, not identical, but almost identical case. And I see it going the same way. If I think this area probably has a mayor instead of a city council, but if their mayor pushes the same way the Aurora City Council did, there should be an investigation that shows them at fault. And we're still hoping for this in Aurora, but the district attorney or prosecutor can definitely take this and try to push for the cops to be some sort of punitive action federally, not just a civil lawsuit, but either prison, fine maybe. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the law dictates in this case, but it should be something serious because this keeps happening. And I think it's a big victory that Aurora City Council acknowledged that yesterday. And I think in a case like this, where it's pretty clear cut what went down, we have video, we have discussion beforehand. It's pretty much premeditated in this instance because they had a long discussion about it not being necessary. But they did it anyway. So I am hoping that I don't know if this one needs an investigation because that evidence is already out there, but I would like to see the district attorney or prosecutor jump on this, because this is what needs to happen. Officers need to obey the law and respect the law, and when they don't, they need to be subjected to the law like everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why most of these problems come from, is that officers are fundamentally above the law, despite what they're supposed to be doing. They are above the law. And until that's brought in, people are going to keep being angry and possibly fighting against them because, like I said earlier, they're just another gang as far as it goes. If they're not obeying the law and they don't have to be subject to the law, they're just another gang that's going to do what they want. And you got to find a way to avoid them or defend yourself or whatever it comes down to, because clearly they kill people. I mean, I'm not going to say like every cop's like that. Obviously they're not. There's a lot of, like his partner, for instance, didn't want this to happen. I do think he should have done a lot more to stop it. But there are people there that recognize it's wrong. And I think that we might have a chance with everything that's happening right now that we might start seeing some prosecutions. But that's still kind of a hope. It's a hope that the police are subject to the laws like the rest of us. But I think we're at the point where we might see that happening. I'm not sure if it's going to go through. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, because the thing is I4LO, I think, said them thugs ain't getting prosecuted. And I think so. I do think that that's the case as well. I mean, because, obviously we can go into another conversation, which we can't right now because I got to wrap up the show, unfortunately. But there is that other conversation of like, all right, we have Elijah McCain, right? Or Elijah McClain, with his whole situation and his whole story, and the fact that they are finally showing that what happened to him was unnecessary. Sure, the investigation is great news and it's baby steps towards him getting justice, but does it automatically mean that these particular cops that were involved in his death, and also with Kurt Reinhold and his death, will they actually be tried, found guilty, and will be put into prison? You know what I mean? Thrown into prison. That's something that we don't know. All we know is we're getting the truths, and now it's up to the judicial system to make the decision whether or not these people should be tried for their doings, for the murder of Kurt Reinhold or the murder of Elijah McClain. Those stories, those proofs are great, but at the same time, that still doesn't mean that there is justice yet. Doesn't mean, like, they look at this video, we have this video, now we're going to have the people look, watch. Watch people do this. Watch what happens here. Watch what happens. They have the footage. They see proof positive. Proof positive, y'all. That these cops were definitely looking for some action. Or at least one of them was looking for some action. They went up to the guy. An altercation happened. One of them screams, "He's got my gun," which he didn't have his gun. Right? He didn't have his gun. Next thing you know, we have a dead man now. So now we have that footage. They're going to find a way, if it ends up being this way, they're going to find a way to chop it up and screw it to make it seem like something else. They're going to say, oh, no, they had every right to walk over to him, such and such. They're going to look at all the things on the levels of law and try to find a loophole to jump through. That's exactly what's going to happen. It has to be literally something so incriminating that they cannot step away from, that they cannot avert their eyes to. Like Elijah's death, for example, is a perfect example of something. Perfect example of something. That there's footage, there's information right there that they cannot avert their eyes to. After they had an independent investigation into it. They asked for an independent investigation into his death. And that's how they got the results. But it had already been investigated before and they found no wrong. Allegedly. Now, there's another story, of course, that I can't jump into right now, but I will talk about it tonight. I promise you that at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Daniel Prude. And the fact that all charges have been dropped in the Daniel Prude case. This is the story about a man who is having a psychotic break because either he was on drugs or he was just having a psychotic break that died muttering the same famous last words that every black man seems to be saying, "I can't breathe." They put a spit bag around his neck. He was butt naked out in the cold in the winter, and they let him just sit there, marinating in his own spit, snot, and whatnot, trying to gasp for breath whilst having a spit bag twisted around his face, his head. He's no longer with us now. But now they have decided to drop the charges against the officers. That is something that we have to talk about. Because it doesn't make any sense that another man who could have been treated differently, who could have been, if we would retrain or reform the police department, and we were able to approach situations if it's a mental issue or a psychiatric issue, right? That we would have the right people for the job to show up for that said person. This was another unarmed man. This was an unarmed, naked man. He had no weapons on him. There was no excuse for anything on his body to say that, oh, he had a weapon on him. He had no clothing on. You can't sit there and go, oh, he was kicking us with his boots, or he had his belt. He was trying to choke us with his belt. He had nothing on him. And that's another person that we have to talk about here. Those charges were dropped. So as soon as we get excited about Elijah McClain and the information about Elijah, we got this on the other side. As soon as we get excited about finding out that they put out the body cam footage and the dash cam footage involving the death, things that led up to the death of Kurt Reinhold, another guy doesn't even get the justice that he deserves. Daniel Prude is just, he will not be able to rest in peace because he's not getting the justice that he deserves. Period. Those cops are not getting anything. Nothing. They say that they found that those cops had done nothing wrong. And like I said, this dash cam footage, sure, it's great on the side of look how messed up this world is. Look how messed up cops are. They were looking for something. They were looking for an excuse to just get into some action. They were doing that. Doesn't mean that they're going to be able to use this and it be viable evidence. It'll be up to the judicial system to make a decision whether or not they want to use that in court, whether or not they're going to use that to press charges. You see what I'm saying? So as much as we're seeing it right now. We're going unjust, wrong. Put them under the freaking jail. Throw the book at them, etc., etc., etc. Now we lay it up to the judges and the district attorneys and the such and suches of the world to make the decision whether or not these are viable offenses, that these are criminal acts that just happened. And 9 times out of 10, and 9.9 times out of 10, it goes against what the general public would want. Those cops will be out scot-free unless I get surprised. I want to be surprised. Please, baby Jesus, please. Let's bring justice for all these men and women that have died unjustly. But we can only sit here and wait. We can only sit here and wait and see if that footage is going to get those guys fired and indicted for charges towards the death of Kurt Reinhold. We're just going to have to sit and wait and see. But anyway, that's the show, guys. I got to jump off, unfortunately. I appreciate everybody for being on. David, thank you so much for being on, my brother.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I will be on tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, so be on the lookout for that. I'm sure T will be on with me, and we will be taking phone calls and all that stuff, so be sure to tune in and be a part of the conversation tonight. Obviously, there's going to be more developing things that are going to be going on. If you haven't done it yet, hit that like button down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I appreciate all y'all for coming on and chopping it up with me. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Peace and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. And as long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Big guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, and we have extra people to clean, rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have those little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.